As government employees, we often make important decisions that affect people or change the programs and services we offer and/or how we spend public funds. The Chief Records Officer has issued a directive under the Information Management Act that sets out a flexible framework for government bodies to ensure important government decisions are documented adequately. This directive helps ensure that people can access the information they expect about how government makes important decisions. Documenting government decisions is an important part of good public administration. It supports effective operations and facilitates good decision-making. Documenting government decisions also fosters greater openness and transparency by ensuring that adequate records are in place so that people have access to the information of interest to them. It also contributes to the preservation of corporate memory and, ultimately, to creating a rich historical record of government decisions for future generations. Depending on your role, you may find yourself making real-time decisions that affect people every day, or you may be involved in preparing decision notes, briefing executives, or preparing cabinet submissions. The decisions you make depend on the services you provide and the work that you do. You are responsible to know the requirements and how the records you participate in preparing contribute to good public administration. We encourage you to become familiar with the Chief Records Officer's directive and the guidelines, which are excellent resources and provide greater detail on this important subject. This directive does not mean that records have to be created and kept for every decision made by every employee. It does mean applying professional judgment in the context of good public administration practices to identify which decisions should be documented and determine how to prepare adequate records of those decisions. It's about accountability and transparency. You should consider whether creating a record would be needed to inform someone about the evolution of a program, policy, or enactment, protect the legal or financial rights or obligations of anyone that is directly and materially affected by the decision, or facilitate accountability of the decision, including through internal or external evaluation, audit, or review. These are the types of decisions that government bodies should document to meet the requirements of the Information Management Act. It is important to remember that there are other government decisions that do not meet these criteria, but the records may still be needed for other reasons, such as business purposes or to meet legislated requirements under other laws. These requirements do not apply to or change those decisions. An adequate record of a decision under the Information Management Act is one that helps a future reader feel that they are reasonably informed about the context of the decision. A person should be able to find out who made the decision and under what authority, when the decision was made, and if appropriate, when it takes effect, who is likely to be affected by the decision and how they are affected, and what the basis was and context in which the decision was made, including any relevant legal, policy, or factual information. The record of decision should be proportionate to the impact and importance of the decision. The contextual information for some decisions may be supported by a one-page form, while other decisions may be supported by thousands of pages of analysis and advice. The key factor to consider is whether a reasonable person can understand the decision. It's also important to remember that the threshold for a record is to be adequate, not perfect. You now have a greater awareness of the impacts of this new directive. For more information, we encourage you to consult the directive and guidelines. Thanks for watching.